Hi everybody, how are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day. I hope everything is well. I got a lot of sleep last night, so I'm feeling a little better today. Some weird ick going through the house. Anyways, so I have been doing a lot of research about the pentagram and where it comes from and the history of it and how you draw a perfect pentagram and all of that stuff. It's pretty fascinating, and I ended up reading High Magic Aid, which is pretty fascinating, and it's a book from the 15th century, written supposedly by King Solomon, and this is the first place where we saw a pentacle and the difference between a pentacle and a pentagram. So just a brief, okay? So originally, pentacle comes from the French word meaning talisman. It's a round thing with a religious symbol on it, often used for protection or other religious blessings. And then in the High Magic Aid by King Solomon, he made several pentacles, one of which was a pentagram. Now, a pentagram is technically just a 5-pointed star. And this is something that we have seen all throughout history and throughout nature. It's part of the nature's perfect spiral and the sacred geometry and all of those kind of things. And it's pretty fascinating when you start to study the geometry of a star, because each of the angles and the measurements and all of the different things, and all of them actually have a numerology of 9. I'm pretty sure it's like a 72-degree angle is the small angle. And I can't remember what the large angle is, but it equals 9. I love numerology, so I was doing all of that while I was making my pentagram for studying. And so the pentagram also, then when we get into Pythagoras and the Pythagorean theory and all of that stuff, Pythagoras he loved the pentagram, and his school studied it a lot. It was part of their sacred geometry. He connected it to the body and to the different elements. I'm like starting to shiver. It's getting cold out here. Anyways, and so then you start to connect it with different elements and different planets and the energies. And the beautiful thing about a pentagram is that you are creating this symbol without picking up your pen. In theory, you can create the whole of the pentagram, the star, and the circle without ever picking up your pen. So that's part of it. And then the fact that all of the angles are equal and they line up in such a way and everything comes together in such a way that it is in line with sacred geometry. And then this is something that we've seen since early man, long before Christianity or written word. We see it in carvings. It's always been seen as a sacred symbol. And it wasn't until modern times that the pentacle became interchangeable with pentagram. Pentacle, like I said, was originally any kind of religious talisman. They weren't always necessarily stars. In the Book of Solomon, there's some that are 7-pointed stars. I think there might even be like a 9-pointed star. There are pentacles that have the Trinity symbol on them, or pentacles that have whatever. It's just a pentacle means a round disc with a blessing on it, pretty much. And now, in the last 100 years or so, pentacle and pentagram have become interchangeable. Pentagram is a geometric shape. It's a star. We put the pentagram on a pentacle and it becomes our magical talisman. Now, there's a lot of rumors or whatever about how it means this or that and blah, blah, and some people might have a totally different meaning for it. I know that in all of my research, I went out and did a bunch of research. Like I said, I read King Solomon's thing, and I went to all the masters there and read what they had to say and how they drew it and what it meant to them. Looked at some new modern masters. I'll see if I can share some. I'm still working out the linking, whatever, because I do it on my phone, all of this. I try not to use the computer. Right now I'm mad at the computer. Not mad at it. I'm just having some emotional issues dealing with being on the computer. Brings back that juju, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, not what we're talking about today. Back to the pentagram. So, you'll see that each point on the pentagram is associated with a different energy. It's often earth, air, fire, water, self, unless you're looking into like Shinto practice or Chinese medicine, and then it's earth, air, fire, wood, fire, water, metal, and earth, air, whatever one I missed, sorry. Anyways, because their elements are a little bit different in the Eastern traditions. So, there's so much more though. So when you draw the pentagram, think about the crucifix or the cross. Just that simple cross means so much more. It's like an abbreviation. So the pentagram is also an abbreviation. And when we encircle it, we encircle that energy and we bring it all together. And it's an abbreviation for the energy that protects us from the divine to the elements and also to the flowing energies that mix and mesh and create everything. So this is a lot of information. I'm just going to go through it pretty quickly. Eventually, I'm going to get a whole class set up on this. I just figured as I was working with this information and diving deeper into this, that I would share some of that with you. Imagine you can hear the daycare next door. They're super cute. So, we have our pentagram. Now, a couple things. One, there are some great videos done by native healers to show you how to draw a perfect pentagram, and when you're looking for them online, find one of those just to support the natives because it's awesome. Alright, so the beautiful thing about a pentagram is that this outer circle that we have, you can then draw it again, and you have this circle here, and then we have another circle on this side, and you can have another circle down here. And as you start to bring all these circles together, you also create the points of the star, and that's one of the ways in which you can draw a perfect pentagram is by just using the circles. But each circle represents like a different hemisphere of energy, and the pentagram is that of all of these energies coming together. So as you can see, this side is pink, and that's the feminine energy. My 3-year-old helped me color this, and I was like, I need a color to color the girl side, and she picked up pink. So anyways, so we have the pink side, and that's the feminine energy coming in, and then we have this side, which is the masculine energy coming in. You can't see it as well, but there is a yellow circle right here, and then there is what color did I make it? Oh, a gray circle. So this energy is our intrinsic energy, and this is our extrinsic energy. So then if you see from that, we have divided it, and this side we have our masculine, our external, our go, force, push energies, and on this side we have our feminine energies, our internal energies, our bring it in, our make it happen internally and then go out, just that kind of different flow of energy, being extrinsic and extrinsic. So we have all been drawing the pentagram. This, for me, not from other sources. We've all been drawing the pentagram wrong for all of these years. When you learn how to draw a star, you start here, right? You start at the bottom, and then you go up, da, 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 da. And that's how we've all learned how to draw a star, and that's great when you're just drawing a star. Magically, when you draw the star for magical purposes, you should actually start at the top, and this is self. This point represents the spirit, the self, the connection between you and the divine, you and your ancestors, you and the future, you and all of that. That is what this point is. And then you come down here. See, so, I'm sorry, in the camera it's backwards, so I imagine for you it's all going to be backwards. Sorry. I don't know how to fix that. Someday I'll figure it out. Anyway, so we have ourself. And then we come down to air. Nope. Let's see. Earth. We come down to earth. I'm sorry. So we come down from self to earth. And then we have air. And then water. And then fire. And then back up to self. Okay? So we do that because we come from our spirit. And that's why we start at the top. Okay? So then the energies of this part, I don't know how well you can see that. So then we have energies between the elements. So when you start to put the elements on the stars, on the pentagram, you're going to see this labeled differently by different people. I know that the Llewellyn version of this is different than what I have here. And I think in part it's drawn so that it says earth, air, fire, water in that order, because we like to say it in that order because that's just the way that we've kind of learned. We greet our Mother Earth first and then we move through, but that's not true for all practitioners. Gerald Gardner happened to start in the north, and he got that from King Solomon, and so that's why we do that. And that's where that tradition comes from. So we just start in the north, we greet the north, and then we go north, east, south, west, because that's the directions on the compass, and we go through that way. When we're looking at it from a spiritual perspective, though, that's not necessarily the way that the energies flow, even though that's the way that we've identified them in this physical realm. You can't always put the two realms together. The two energies don't always jive perfectly. So, anyways. So this top line right here, running across the top, represents dry energy. This is energy that's dry. That's why it's connected to air and fire, or to water and fire. It's so backwards here than it is here, so looking at it on here really is rocking my brain, okay? Anyways. Okay, so we have our dry, and then we have our cold. Oh, here we go. We have our hot energy, our wet energy, and our cold energy. So according to Pythagoras, this is how all of the energies and elements could come together, is through dry, hot, wet, and cold. And when they come together, so you have cold and dry, you get air, or you get, that's why I'm so backwards. It is rocking my brain. I'm sorry, okay? We'll work this out. We'll get it better. Anyway, so when you have dry and cold together, you get your earth. And that's what's over here. See, I'm so backwards looking in the camera and looking on here. So you have your earth. And then, down here where we have hot and wet come together, we have our air. That's that hot rising energy, but air is connected to earth because they flow together. So all of these energies are flowing, and all in this symbol we have all of these energies. We have our solar energy with the fire, we have the moon, and here in the center when they all come together, we have the connection of all things. We have the masculine and the feminine. We also have our planets. I don't know if you can see around the edges, I have the planets. We have Venus, we have the first 5 planets, because until modern whatever, that we didn't know that the other ones were planets, so they were just stars. So we have the first 5 planets, and where we stand in the middle, and all of this energy coming together. So with that crazy discombobulated amount of information I just gave you, I'm sorry it's a little ranty. Like I said, I'm still working all of this out in my own brain, solidifying it. But there's a tremendous amount of energy in this one picture. So when we draw it, when we put it on our body, when we work with it in our circle, what we're doing is we're calling on all of these cosmic energies. You've got your divine, masculine and feminine. You've got your intrinsic and extrinsic. You've got your above and below. You've got the, Pythagoras assigned it with the body. So it's the man standing like this with his arms out, and you are in that center, the point of his head, and the feet in the bottom. That's why he had it like with earth and water at the bottom, because that's what you're standing in. And then you have fire and air up here, and so it kind of all comes together, and you feel that energy coming together. And when you draw it, when you work with it, when you meditate with it, when you use it as a protective symbol, hello air, when you do all of those things and you use it as a communication device and any of that nature, you are connecting with all of those divine energies, with all of those universal energies, and they're all coming together in this one symbol. And so just keep that in mind as you begin to draw it, and you begin to learn and work with it, and think about it as more than just a picture on paper. And yeah, so if you have any questions, feel like I've rambled on forever. It's just there's so much information here, and it's hard to just convey that to you in one little short video. I'm going to write a whole class. It's going to take a month to get through just this energy right here in this picture, because there's so much going on right here. And that's how you have to think about all energies and all things when we start to work with them. It's not just one thing. These are holistically energies that intertwine and move and flow together and cannot be separated out into one thing. So you can't just connect with one element or just connect with one deity, because they're all connected. Everything is flowing. And that's part of what the pentagram represents, is that flowing energy. So I hope your energy is flowing today. I hope that you have a great day. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, you can always find me on Facebook and Twitter and right here on YouTube, and I try to stay connected, and I hope that everybody has a great day. And like I said, get those energies flowing, and don't let Mercury retrograde keep you down. See it, feel it, know it, recognize the problems, and look for the solutions that the gods are presenting you. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Blessed be.